Good morning, everybody. It is day 2 of this Pondless Waterfall build, and it is a glorious sunny day. We're out here getting all the shells prepared because we're gonna put down our protective underliner and our liner and get rocking. You can see behind you, I have just started separating all of our boulders, getting them ready because we're gonna use all of our different rock straps like this right here. And we're gonna start slinging these boulders and set them in place and building these beautiful waterfalls. So we got a nice wide variety. This is all stuff Dominic and I tagged, hand-picked ourselves. We knew what we wanted to do in this backyard, and we knew the size rocks we were gonna need, and we have particular types of rocks that we really like to work with, different shapes and sizes. Each one of these has a purpose in mind, and you're gonna see it all come together on this project, and it'll make more sense once we start building. But it's going to be a really good day, so stay tuned. We're putting in our second piece of liner. You can see underneath that liner is our protective rock pad. It's a geotextile. We use a very thick fabric to protect the liner from any roots or rocks or anything pokey in the soil. It's a nice protective cushion, and you can see we're using multiple pieces of liner for this. An ideal situation is to use one single piece of liner so you don't have to worry about seams or overlaps. But when you have a large scale project like this, where especially where we're twisting and turning through the hillside, you'd have to have a very big liner to get it done with one single piece, and there'd be a lot of waste. So instead of doing that, we're using multiple pieces with overlaps. So you can see this liner right here is overlapping our original liner, which is our basin liner. That way, if you do it properly, the water will follow the liner down and it won't be able to leak out. But you have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to make sure you have really big overlaps. I would never go less than 6 inches on an overlap. And you need to make sure that when you build your waterfall, water can't back up behind that and go underneath that liner and leak into the soil. So some things to take into consideration. You can also seam these liners together, but for something like this, you don't have to. And you'll see as we go along, we're gonna do another piece for the upper pool that will overlap down in. And we're using a 15 by 50 foot roll of liner. This is 45 mil EPDM rubber liner. It is a fish safe liner. It's specifically made for water features. A lot of people think you can just use a cheaper product that's made by the same manufacturer that's intended for things like roofing, but that stuff is impregnated with harmful chemicals like algicides and things to prevent mold and algae and stuff from growing on your roof. You don't want to use that in a water feature because it becomes toxic. It can kill plants, fish, pets, things like that. So we avoid that product. We use a pond specific liner. It's made by the same manufacturer, but it's made to a different standard, so it doesn't have all that nasty stuff in it. So this is a great product. It's very easy to use. It curves to the shapes that you carve in the soil really easy. It's very puncture resistant, and if it does ever puncture, it's very easy to repair. There's a lot of different pond liners that you can get. They're for different purposes. But when it comes to water features in your backyard, this is absolutely the best product you can use. We've been using it for a long time. Once it's all rocked and graveled, it's protected. It's not exposed to UV rays, and there's ponds that have been in the ground for over 30 years with no degradation of the liner, holding up wonderfully. We have no idea how long it will last, but we see no signs of it failing. It's all we use, and it's all we'd recommend people use in their backyard. All right, so you guys can see we've got a bunch of rock set already. We're continuing to work our way upstream, if you will. We've got a lot of our main frame rocks in place, some spill stones, some of these big, huge boys, and it's going really well. I'm loving the design, how it's all coming together. Right now I'm preparing. We're gonna use some of our waterfall foam. It's an expanding foam that's fish safe. It's similar to the expanding foam you see used in home construction, but it doesn't expand as much, and it is the color black, so it's easy to disguise. But what that's going to do, it's going to fill up some of these gaps on the backside of our waterfall rocks, and as it expands and dries, it's not waterproof. It creates a new path of least resistance. So instead of the water wanting to just quickly disappear behind the rocks and maybe not even come over the top at all, we're gonna block that area up so it's easier for the water to flow over the top of the stones that we want it to and get the majority of the water in motion going over our waterfall stones. So I'm getting this area prepped to do that. We're gonna get this section all foamed up so it can dry overnight. With the temperatures dropping, the foam behaves a little differently than it does in the summertime. It takes a little bit longer to dry. If you don't do it in the right temperature, it can be a little brittle as it dries. So we're gonna get that in now while the sun's still out and it's still nice and warm. Get this section all sealed up and then continue to rock our way upstream and create more beautiful waterfalls. All right, guys, so another amazing day of progress done. We're gonna wrap up this retaining wall. It's getting dark, so we're gonna do some cleanup a little bit after this. And then we're out of here. The next time you see this, we'll be working on the next two sections of waterfalls up top. And we're making a lot of progress. It's looking amazing. I love the rock work. It's been a great day. So stay tuned. You're gonna love how this turns out.